This week on the Lonnie and Ryan podcast.
It took her like, I want to say it was like 18 months of grinding with the dog videos. And
Whoa.
I did it in 25 days. So
Oh, yeah.
the plate you see in the shot is not what's consumed. That's for the shot.
Right.
My plant has an elementary school on our property.
Oh,
That's how safe and how serious we take nuclear,
wow.
right? So the thing is today I can make more money on social media eventually than
Yep.
anybody that owns a restaurant for a lot less
100%.
headaches.
This week, we are welcoming on Jayton from Power Plant to Plate. Jayton has a very interesting life. During the day, he helped literally keep a nuclear power plant effectively running. And at night, he cooks and makes short form content. Jayton is an amazing cook. And if you've seen any of his videos, you would totally understand what I'm talking about. He is one of the fastest growing creators on TikTok and Instagram right now. And we are so excited to have him on today. Join us in welcoming Power Plant to Plate. This is weird. I don't think I've ever... Do you ever talk in your videos? I don't think I've ever seen you talk or heard you talk.
No, I've only done a couple of voiceovers for like ads that we've done, but
Gotcha.
I usually don't. I think I did one video where I was just showing people how to clean the grill and I did it, talked in it, but yeah,
Oh,
like
I remember that one.
almost
I did
almost
follow.
none of them.
Yeah.
Do you think that's intentional? Like, are you intentionally not wanting to have that kind of relation? I don't know if you call it a relationship. That's kind of deep with the viewer. Like, do you not want to get that close? Like, do you intentionally make your content, you want it to be more about the food and what you're doing than you?
Yeah, we just kind of started that way, and now we've kind of done that format for up to this point that we've talked about maybe doing a video here and there where I talk or doing some more like voiceover stuff because we get a lot of people that ask for more detailed things. We're making the 60-second snippets of an hour-long dinner. So that's probably one of the biggest feedbacks we get. And I would like to start doing more long form, probably here on YouTube, because we haven't really grown the YouTube channel much at all. That's kind of been difficult because of the copyright stuff. We have to re-edit the entire video because of certain songs, and so it's not as smooth as transition as like going from TikTok to Instagram is pretty easy for us. And so yeah, I would say it's not intentional. It just hasn't happened yet. And those are some things we have on the list for down the road. I'd like to, because I want to help people as well. Like show them how to do these things and like start with some basic dinners and you work your way up kind of thing.
Right. How long have you been making content? Because I think I started following you. I remember I messaged you the day I followed you, and I think you were a super small channel back then, maybe like 10,000 followers on TikTok or less or something like that. And I was like, this guy is going to do well. I could just see it right away. I'm like, this is legit. And I think I sent you a DM really, really early on. I was like, hey, great videos, man. Keep up the good work. And you've really exploded, I would say, especially on TikTok over the past month, I would say, maybe a couple months, something like that. But yeah, how long have you been at this exactly?
So we started posting on TikTok January 6th, and then we started posting on Instagram in March consistently.
Wow.
And I think
this year?
This year, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so we've only been in it, right at 7 months now. So
it's basically it's exploded.
Yeah, it did really good right out of the gate. I mean, I feel like it exploded for it. I don't know anything about it. I'm still super new to it, and I never even had social media prior to this. I never had TikTok on my phone. The only thing I ever did is like dabble on like I would watch guys like you. I'd watch podcasts. I'd watch things on YouTube, but I didn't have like Instagram or Facebook or anything else like that. So I didn't have TikTok till I downloaded it January 6th and we started this.
Wow. And you had no prior like video creation experience or anything like that?
No, zero. Now my wife did, so she does all the editing. So
Okay.
that helps a lot because she already knew what she was doing there. So that helped us kind of hit the ground running. And I already knew how to cook, so
Right.
and she was that's kind of how it started. So she was doing our dog channel. We have 3 golden doodles, and she
Mm.
has a golden doodle
Oh,
account, and she was
okay.
doing that for a while. And so in retrospect, like exploding is probably a good word because it took her a long time to get to monetization on TikTok with the dog channel,
Yeah.
and it took her like I want to say it was like 18 months of grinding with the dog videos, and
Whoa.
I did it in 25 days. So
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy impressive. Wow.
Okay, so let me go back to the first question I asked you. Sounds so dumb now because I didn't realize you had just started. So yeah, if I started and I made videos and I wasn't talking to the camera or anything, and I just show cooking and I show all those cuts like you do, and I exploded like that, I would keep doing the exact same thing. Like, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of like if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing.
Right.
And that's kind of been some advice we've got from other people too, because
Mhm.
we've met with some management companies and stuff, and we've asked if that going to help or hurt us with me not talking. They're like, there's plenty of people that get brand deals that don't talk, and
For sure.
so and stuff like that. So he's like, if you're gonna, some of the advice we've got is like, if you're gonna do it, dabble with it. Like, don't just completely change what you're doing. Put a video
Kinda
out
mix
here
it
and
in.
there and see how it works, but don't just flip the script, so to speak.
So
What
go
I
ahead,
was
Ryan.
just gonna ask what gave you the inspiration to start making videos? Because that's interesting, going from like not even having any social media presence whatsoever to starting it and then exploding. Like what made you decide to jump into it? Because if you weren't on social media already, like how did you even get the idea? Well, I guess you mentioned your wife, but what made
Yeah.
you jump into the cooking stuff?
Well, it was kind of her, she was showing me, she was learning all about social media the previous couple of years. And
Mhm.
I was probably like your average guy that just thought it's fake. Like people aren't really making money doing this stuff. And if
Right.
they are, you got to be like a Mr. Beast to make money. And that was my mentality, honestly, before. And then the more she would show me stuff and like, this is legit. People like us can, it can be another source of income and all these kinds of things. And
Yep.
she was, like I said, doing the golden doodle thing. And she's like, why don't we try filming you cooking? She's like, you're already doing all this. Like, cooking seems to do really well on there. And showed me, a bunch of people doing different things. I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And so it just kind of started literally. We talked about it at the beginning of the year, and January 6th was when the first video
Wow.
went up.
It's amazing.
Well, that is so. Your wife is very smart because okay, almost everybody loves dogs, right? And golden
Right.
doodles they're awesome. They're cool dogs, so it totally makes sense to make content of. I watch golden doodle content occasionally, and I've never had one. But they are cool. But what is more, what is a better category than dogs is food, because like I tell my buddy Ryan here, tell him this like probably once a week, because like he'll show me the results from what he does. It's all centered around food, and I'm like,
Yep.
yep, everybody eats,
Right.
so like everyone can appreciate the content that you put out. I guess not everybody eats meat necessarily. Like vegetarians might not like what you're doing too much, I guess, but or vegans or whatever.
Yeah, we haven't got any comments like that. The food community has been pretty awesome, actually. I
Mm.
mean, the people that have reached out and sent us DMs and gave us advice, and like I'm talking like big content creators that have big time 6-figure or 7-figure followings that my wife was blown away. She goes, I could not believe the people that are reaching out and following you and talking to us.
Yep.
She's like, I didn't experience any of that in the dog world. It was like
Oh,
almost like maybe even more like cutthroat business over there.
Mm.
But over here, it's like everyone just there's plenty of room for everybody, is what it feels like.
Well, I watched probably about a dozen of your videos so far. I think Ryan's probably watched more. But you seem to be really, really good at cooking, like to the point. Were you ever like a chef? Did you go to like culinary school? And did you cook at a restaurant or something, or at least at Waffle House or something at least? Like,
So yeah, that's probably like one of our top questions
mhm.
on most of the videos. And so, kind of a funny story. I started out as a teenager at a Outback Steakhouse. So
Okay.
18, senior year of high school,
Yep.
and then that's actually where me and my wife met. I was
Okay.
back of the house, she was front of the house, and
Okay.
so I did do that for a little while. So there is some restaurant experience there, but that was a very long time ago.
Right.
I've been in the power industry 18 years now, so
Wow.
pretty far removed from anything else. But yeah, that's kind of where I got my feet wet a little bit, with I guess some kitchen skills there, and then my mom and grandma were both great cooks, so I
Mm.
grew up around there. And my great grandmother, my I never met, she actually owned a cafe back in her day. So
No.
there may be just some old genetics floating around in there as well.
Because I noticed on a couple of your videos too, you like to start with what do you say? Because like I guess you show your truck backing in to the
Yeah.
driveway,
I
like
love
you're
that.
coming home from work, right?
Right.
And then sometimes you put the words on there that say, when your wife grew up with her dad doing all the
Right.
cooking, or so, is
Yeah.
that what it says?
Yeah, so my side of the family were all phenomenal cooks, and her side of the family, the women couldn't boil water.
Wow. Interesting.
So yeah, my mother-in-law does not cook. She's great at cleaning. She'll help you clean up anything after cooking. She's just will not. She just doesn't cook.
I'm kind of in the same boat myself. I do all the cooking here when we're not eating out because obviously I have to eat out quite a bit for my content, but I do some recipes here and there. I kind of want to expand on that a little bit. Maybe I should ask you some advice, but um I definitely do all the cooking as well. My wife cannot actually, funny story. Way back when, Lonnie, you probably remember this.
Yeah, I do. I remember.
Way back in the day when I was doing my other YouTube channel, I forget exactly what it was, but we were filming something in the kitchen, and Pam was like, "Oh, I'll throw some chicken on in the crock pot for and when we get home from work, it'll be ready or whatever." I come home from work and I had my camera, and I walk through the door. I'm like, I don't smell any chicken. What? Well, I thought she was gonna make some chicken, and I'm rolling. I had my camera going, and I walk into the kitchen, and the crock pot's sitting there with the chicken in it, and it's not plugged in, turned on. So that's my wife. That's my wife's cooking skills for you.
It's
Oh,
rare.
that's funny.
It's rare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
mine can cook. Like she started with the crock pot meals and
mhm.
stuff like that. So she'll do things like that. I mean, she won't do what I do and make everything from scratch and
Why
whatnot. But
should
she
she?
she yeah.
If I had if I had Jayton cooking for me every night,
I
I
know.
wouldn't cook a thing. I would never cook again, ever. Why would you?
Yeah, we both stay in our lane.
So I kind of wanted to ask you about your system for making content, because do you upload every day?
Well, we started out for definitely the first few months, I would say, was every day. Like,
Okay.
because we did have early success, so we were like afraid to stop. We're like, we can't
Right.
miss a day because we didn't know how everything works and the algorithm and all that. I'm like, oh my God, we can't miss anything. So I was getting smoked because, you know, I was also juggling the power plant, and then, we
Mm.
also we have scheduled refueling outages, right? So then I'm working 612s, and we were juggling that around 612s, and I was just getting smoked. And so now we've gotten better at like sandbagging a couple videos on a day off, and then we kind of learned, for whatever reason, and I don't know why, but like Mondays and Fridays for whatever reason just don't seem to do well. And
Really?
and it's trackable on our videos, and I don't know why. But so we've decided we're probably going to stop posting on Mondays and Fridays and give ourselves a break. So we don't post on Mondays, but like kind of our systems. So it's always a day ahead. So like we always do like this Taco Tuesday, right? Or, basically some kind of Mexican theme, more or less. And so that's always filmed on Monday night. So,
smart. Okay.
So we try
So
to
it's
stay
dropping
ahead there
on Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then I noticed you also do, which is very smart because it's repurposing your content. You also do like the recap of the week. So you'll do like 7 meals in 7 days, and you'll kind of like highlight each one. That's very smart too, because you get an extra video out of the content you've already made.
And those do pretty good. I mean, we've gotten quite a few of those that get like 6-figure views. So those are great, and they don't always. I think most of them she tries to make a minute, but the big push there is just try to grow the following more than anything, and
makes sense,
and get it. And it's a night off. I didn't have to do anything. We just recycle some videos.
So are y'all, how much better are y'all eating since January 6th versus before January 6th? Like, are y'all eating, were y'all always eating food this amazing looking and this, like, let's be real, this expensive? Like the ingredients, like you eat like a king. Y'all eat like kings every night, it looks like. How were y'all eating before the social media?
Yeah, so that's a pretty common question too. So let's see. I describe it as we were kind of like your typical family surviving before we had this 2-3 week cycle of recipes that we just kind of rinsed and repeated. So the better person to ask is the kids, because they are loving it, because they're like, Dad was always a good cook, but now we just get something different every single night.
Yeah.
So it's forced me to get creative again, instead, because you don't normally do this on a Monday night. Like, I'm not saying you can't, like, ours are definitely a little above and beyond what a normal family would try to pump out on a weeknight.
I would say, yeah. I watched the one. It was looked amazing. The smash tacos. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. But so your kids. So do your kids have friends that always want to come over? And do you have like your buddies at work? Are they like always trying to hint around, like trying to, hey, what you cooking tonight? You got any
leftovers to bring to work?
Well, do you bring leftovers to work a lot and stuff? And do the guys at work watch all your content? I bet they do.
Yeah, so that's funny. I didn't tell anyone I was doing this. So it was probably probably March or April, I started getting found out. And, I was walking around the plant and someone would be like, "What's going on, chef?" And I'm like,
oh,
"Oh, you saw our videos?" "Yeah, I didn't know you were doing that." And then word traveled pretty fast.
Oh yeah.
And so a lot of people comment on that, and like my immediate crew there, they definitely reap the benefits. So if we have, copious leftovers, I know where to dispose of them, because power plant guys like to eat. So it's not hard getting rid of leftovers if we have too many.
So when you eat lunch at work, are you eating the leftovers from that food that we saw you cook in the previous? So that's what you're whipping out in the break room or whatever at work to heat up every day?
Oh yeah. So like somebody asked that question on the Taco Tuesday. We just did those enchiladas that we
Yeah, I saw that.
it was like 2 days ago, I think. Or yesterday, I guess. Or did she post that today? I'm so lost on what day it is. But anyways, she we made a lot, obviously, in that video, and someone commented on that. But you know, I got two leftover plate. Like we put them all in the glassware, Tupperware,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it, and
Yep.
I had two, and my son had three. So that's five more meals right there. So we get a lot of that comments too of expenses, but I do the math on some. Sometimes I'll respond to them. I'm like, look, this is exactly what I paid for all these groceries, and then four of us had dinner, and then I took
Right.
three lunches to work, and my son took two lunches to work, and my wife she works from home, and they don't go to waste. And probably the other biggest question is, how do you guys not weigh 600 pounds? Well,
Right.
the plate you see in the shot is not what's consumed. That's for the shot.
Right.
So we'll put three tacos on a plate, but me and my wife both just eat one taco.
Right.
or whatever the thing is. It's not always that entire thing is not what everybody is eating. So it's kind of funny that we get some of those comments a lot as well.
Yeah, I'd be hitting you. I'd be like, "Hey, Jayton, I saw that was a really big plate of enchiladas you made last night. Did you have any?"
Yeah. Can't help but think you have some leftovers.
Right.
I think I saw a food creator. I think it was CIBs. I don't know if you follow him. He said something once that resonated with me as a food content creator. You could probably resonate with it too. It was, everything that is shown is not eaten, but not everything that is eaten is shown. And people are like, how are you not 3,000 pounds? It's like,
Right.
well, that's how it is.
Yeah, that's usually what my wife will respond is like, portion control. Like,
yeah,
we're not downing everything you see there.
So how do you find the recipes?
Most of them I'm dreaming up.
Really? You make them up? Wow.
Yeah, so many of them are just completely me going to Publix, walking around the store at like most nights. The enchilada night, I was literally at Publix, and I was like trying to think of what are we going to do. I was like, well, we did a Mexican, we did that churi pollo last week, and I said that was like a Mexican plate, and that did pretty well on views. I said maybe we should do like another Mexican plate type thing. I was like, maybe some kind of like enchilada or something like that, and then I didn't feel like making enchilada sauce from scratch that night, so I used canned red enchilada sauce.
Yep.
And I had the stuff to make it. I just, I was just done. I was like, I don't feel like making it from scratch. And I was like, we're probably going to get roasted because I used canned enchilada sauce. But nobody said anything, which I was kind of surprised at. But because I made it in other videos from scratch, but I was like, I'm not doing all that tonight. So we'll see what happens. And I want to make some of it like more relatable too. Like, most people aren't going to make it from scratch. So here's a quick way to make it. Like, I don't feel like what I did was complicated. I felt like that wasn't an easier dish to make. So that was the other reason behind it. But I'm not looking at like other people's content and copying people's recipes or anything like that. I'll get ideas from certain things. And like, obviously I make meals that have been out there, like a Philly cheesesteak and whatever. I'm not reinventing anything, but like there are some that I'm pretty proud of because I didn't see it anywhere. I can, like the hibachi tacos, that I thought that was a kind of cool idea. And there's the chicken waffle Alfredo, where like I cooked the ground chicken in the waffle iron. Like, I thought that was a really cool one. And had a chance. I was like, man, I've never seen anyone do this. I Googled it. I couldn't find it anywhere. I'm like, this could be one that might go crazy because it's unique and no one's done it. And it did okay. That was it.
So I got to ask then, since you don't use recipes, that was a really good question. You typically don't use recipes. When is the cookbook coming out? Because like that, obviously that's the natural fit for what have y'all talked about that already, or what have y'all discussed about a cookbook?
So we have, and we've actually been approached by a couple companies that
Mm.
do cookbooks, and because if you read our comments, that's another one. It's probably top 3 or 4 comment as well. Like
Yep.
we when we first started, we weren't putting recipes on anything because I don't have any recipes. I have nothing written down. Everything's just in my head or cooking by touch and feel.
hmm
So the my saving grace has been AI because I can kind
Mm.
of speak my ingredients and like so it helps me kind of help my wife post it. I'll just I'll try to start jotting recipes down now. And but yeah, to answer your question about the cookbook, that's something we are trying to work on it and would like to get out there because we get
Yeah.
asked so often. And I don't know, I guess I just don't think much of it. Like I just in my head I feel like it's not anything special, but
Yeah.
to everybody else it seems like, well, where I was going to go with that is we were getting hammered the first 3 or 4 months. Like people were mad that we were not posting recipes.
Oh, I
And
bet.
so that's
Yeah.
kind of
Because
where
they
we
want
started change. They
because
wanted
they
to be
want
able
to
to
do
make
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would have never expected that. But that was probably the most interesting thing when we first started. I was like, oh my God, people are coming after us because we're not and I
Yeah.
wasn't like gatekeep. I don't care. I want everybody to make my stuff. And I love
Right.
hearing people that make it and post and share pictures and are like, look, I made this last I think that part's awesome. So I I will share everything. I have nothing that I'm not like trying to hide recipes or
Mm.
anything like that.
I think whenever you do release a cookbook, you will have grown so big by then that it's going to do really well. And
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can imagine like just people I've been different channels I've been a fan of over the years. I mean, that's just so perfect. It's a book. It's something they can display. They can use it, and then it's even got. I'm sure you're probably going to be signing each one or whatever, and so it'll have a little piece of you in there where you signed it, and like, yeah, it's going to be whenever you can get that out. I know it's like this is all very new for you still. I've been doing this a decade. So
Yeah.
I
6
can't
months.
imagine. It must feel like a whirlwind for you to
Yeah.
even think about that.
Yeah, it is. It's all happening fast, but it's all manageable so far.
Mhm.
Me and my wife both have careers. This is just a nice little side hustle.
Right.
And like I, I can't believe what you can do in the social media and how it can turn into a business. Well,
Absolutely,
It's
man.
I say business. It's funny you were talking about watching some of my videos. I was watching some of your podcasts. And
Oh, boy.
Okay, yeah,
I don't know if I'm allowed
watch
to
what you
call it
call
a
a
business or
business.
not.
Yeah, be careful with that, buddy. Yeah,
I'm
we'll
going to
be the
go out
judge
on a
of it.
limb. I'm going to be the one to say I think what you're doing is a business, okay? All right.
Well, they're gonna Uncle Sam's gonna want his piece of the pie at the end of the year, so they're gonna call it a business.
There you
So,
go.
yeah, I was actually going to ask you a business related question. I don't think you're a business, though. I'll be honest, because I think, well, no, I think you probably are a business, but I don't think it works without you. And it probably doesn't work
Right.
very well without your wife either. It's almost, you know what y'all sound like? Y'all almost sound like Apple, and you're Woz, and your wife is Steve Jobs, and you're the one
Right.
actually, right? Like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting anyway.
Well, like a business to me, I get what you're saying. Like a business to me should be scalable, and at the moment, the only way for us to be scalable would to come up with a product or a cookbook
Yeah.
or something like that. I'm not going to train another cook. I'm not going to train another editor, right? So
Right.
Right.
you're
Yeah.
right in that sense. Like it's me and her. So
Yeah. Who
now,
cares? I don't even care about those definitions. I think they're stupid.
yeah, we're having
Yeah.
fun. We're making
Right.
extra money. And people are watching. So as long as all those things keep happening, I'll keep doing it.
You know what's awesome too is the fact that the fact like the cooking and the food speaks for itself. So you don't really have to talk. But the fact that you don't talk also means you're not pissing people off with opinions and stuff. Like
Right.
sometimes I talk and people don't like what I'm saying too much. Like they can't not like what you're saying if you don't say anything.
Right.
Like, and how mad can they get that you sliced your onion thicker than they would like? Like
Oh man.
Oh, they do, Lonnie. They do. I'm
they
sure.
will. Yeah, you would be amazed at what people will come after some of those and I just laugh. Sometimes my wife, I think, will get more agitated than I do, and I'm like, I don't care. It's all comments. Let them. Any comment's a good comment in my book. It just, as long as it's driving the algorithm, I don't really care what they're saying.
So, does your wife also film, or like how does that work? Because I've tried to make cooking videos before. I've done a few, and trying to cook and be like the cameraman is such a pain and a headache. That's basically the only reason why I haven't done a lot of cooking videos, is because it's such a pain to like maneuver the camera around. So like, how do you do that? Does she help you, or do you do it yourself?
Yes. Nope. She helps. She does all the filming. I have done a couple where she wasn't here and I've had to do it myself. Like you said, it is a gigantic pain because you got to go out on the patio, set the tripod up again, come back in and grab the food, and then now you're walking out in front of that kitchen. It doubled my time if she's not there to film it. So it is a huge difference and a huge help that we've been able to do it together, and it's been fun to be able to do it together. So prior to this, she would keep working or doing other things around the house while I cook dinner. And then it's just like, hey, dinner's ready. So now she's actually seeing the whole process. And so many times she'll just be like, is this how you always do it? I'm like, this is how it's done. Yep.
Wow. So when y'all sit down to eat after, and y'all been filming and everything, and you sit down finally sit down to eat, do y'all discuss, like, as you're eating, oh, they're gonna love this one, as y'all are like do y'all try and predict how it's gonna do, and like based on how it tastes? And have you ever had, I'll ask another, man, I have so many questions. Have you ever had a video for something you cooked that like killed it, like hundreds of thousands of views or whatever, right? But actually didn't taste very good when y'all ate it? Like, have you ever had that happen before? Like, you're like, man, this is kind of
There's only one so far that we've made that I didn't like. Now my wife liked it, but I did not like it. And it was that, I guess it was a viral thing, the dumpling lasagna thing, Asian dumpling thing. She loved it, but she's a dumplingaholic. So I'm not like, if I'm like, I'll eat sushi, but like, I don't know, the steamed dumplings or whatever, they just not a big deal to me. So maybe that's part of it. I'm not a huge fan of it, but that's one that stands out to me that I made, and I'm like, I will never make that again.
Something about your videos that I wanted to mention as well is it might be something that people miss. It's like a subconscious thing, really. I think that not only are you cooking videos, right? And like the main topic of the videos is cooking food, but every time one of your videos comes up on my For You page, it's like it has this vibe to it, and I think it's a mixture of like your set and also the little details that are put into the video. So like, for example, I noticed that in some of the shots you have like a little screen that has a fireplace going. And it's very quick. And like, you have to really be observant to notice it. And then you have like, in some of them you have candles, right? Who's the mastermind behind that? Because I think that really matters a lot, because it adds to the vibe and like the ambiance of the video.
But before he answers, I actually earlier today I watched one of the videos twice because I was trying to figure out what was on the screen of the TV in the background. So you're right. You're absolutely right. You got 2 views for 1 because of that.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's that's all the wife. She puts the it's just a YouTube fireplace app that we play on there, I think, and we change it here, to different things, or like if it's a holiday. So yeah, it's intentional. She definitely puts that on there, and that's what she says. It's the ambiance, like the outside lighting, the outside TV. And things I like as a guy, I don't know how you guys are, but like I don't give it a second thought. I mean, I know you guys said you
Right.
noticed it in the video, but when I'm setting up to all I'm thinking about is food. Like, how
Yep.
am I going to put this together? How am I going to time this together? That's the only thing I'm focused on. So she's focusing on all that other stuff, which, like I said, it works out great working together like that because I'm hyper focused on not screwing up dinner and getting it timed and all that stuff. And she
Right.
works on everything else in the TV. And what people pick up is crazy because, like, a lot of times we'll have a dirt vision on the TV because my nephew, he races they're kind of like sprint cars. And
Oh.
Mm.
so some nights we have him playing on TV and people pick that
Oh.
up, and unless you're in the racing world, you don't even know what dirt vision is.
Well,
And
well,
so they'll see that, and
you got 2 to 3 views every time somebody said that. You got 2, 3, 4 views because they're zooming in and what was that? I gotta watch it again. Right.
Right.
and followers, you never know who you're going to pick up. And like sometimes what you put in a video isn't, you're not necessarily always tapping into the food world. I mean, I've got plenty of people that follow me from the truck world because,
Mm.
maybe because I back the truck and that drives to certain people's
You,
For You
you like
page.
that?
And
You like that truck, don't you?
yeah, that one's for
It's a sick truck, bro. That's a sick truck. By the way, did you recently get new vehicles? Because I remember I've seen some videos where you have black vehicles, and then now you have like the white truck. Is that a Ford? It's a Ford, right?
yeah, mine's a Ford. My wife's is a GMC.
Okay.
That's that TikTok money, man.
No, that was indecisiveness. So that was, yeah, we had the almost green collared vehicles, and we didn't have them long, and we both, I don't want to call it an impulse buy, but we bought them, we loved them, and then we're like, I was like, I've always kind of wanted this, and she really was wanting the GMC Denali, and long story short,
Yeah.
now we have the Ford and the Denali.
Is the
So
Denali a diesel or is it gas?
it's a gas. Yeah,
Okay.
it's the 6.2,
Yeah.
and then I've got the F-250. So
He's got the F-250 to go get the groceries.
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. Oh,
I love
tell
the
people
white.
all the time.
I love the white.
People make comments on it all the time, and I'm like, I'll be the first to tell you, it is not a need. I do not need that truck. It is a want. I've always had heavy duty truck. I've always had Chevy 2500s. This was my first Ford, so
Yep.
first time on the dark side over here. But I like it. I do like it a lot.
It's a nice one. So, do you mind like getting into a little bit of your full-time career at all?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, so you work at a nuclear power plant, obviously. What's your role over there?
So my title is senior nuclear tech support / job sponsor. So what that means is like I'm over all of valves in a power plant, anything valve related, and I'm what's called the tech support. So any issues that come up, if guys are in the field and having problems with something or parts or um, anything valve related, they would come to me. So, and then like for scheduled refueling outages, that part of that, the job sponsor part of that is like bringing in the contractors that are going to come in and help do the outage and help with some of the work. So I was instrumentation and controls. So I was in the field as a technician. Just recently took over that role for the tech support. And like I said, I've been in the power industry for 18 years.
So you weren't. So were you initially in nuclear power specifically, or were you just in the power industry in general to begin? Like, did you start off with the nuclear, or does the nuclear just happen to be the plant you're at now?
So I started in fossil fuels in Florida. I did a lot of new construction, building gas burning power plants. And then when we moved up to the Carolinas, I was still a contractor, so I was traveling all over the world to different everything. I went and any industry. It didn't matter. I would go to paper mills. I'd go to power plants, pharmaceuticals. I went anything that was instrumentation and valve related. And I used to work for a company called Emerson, which is a huge global company. So they would send us anywhere and everywhere, and I did that for a long time. So not till I've only been in nuclear probably like 6 years.
Oh, okay.
Specifically. You know, I would contract in to nukes, but I wasn't specific nuke. So yeah, I haven't done it. Wasn't all nuclear for the whole 18 years.
Okay, I was just curious because I was curious. I told Ryan before we even started, I was like, if he's in the nuclear industry, I think I'd say there's a better than a 50% chance he's prior Navy. So I made my call. I said, I bet he's going to be prior Navy. So are you prior Navy?
I am not, but you are. That is a very good. A lot of people come from the Navy. They have great nuclear program. We hire a lot of people from the Navy. It's the only place on the planet outside of a nuclear power plant that you can gain nuclear experience.
Right. You can't go to Radio Shack and get their 60-in-1 nuclear power experimentation kit, right? Like that's not a thing.
Yeah, they're kind of funny about that uranium.
So what happens, just out of curiosity, because like nuclear power really interests me, and I don't know a whole lot about it. But what goes down when they're doing a refueling? Do they literally have to truck in like pieces of uranium? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so up to an extent. So the rundown on a refuel is not all of it gets replaced, right? So it's a cycle. So let's just say there's 100 fuel cells in a reactor. Let's say on a refueling outage, we take 30 of them out and we do truck them in. So they come in on a flatbed.
Wow.
And new
are they
fuel
escorted
cells
with like cops and stuff and security? Or
it's not like you would think it would be. You know, it is radioactive, but it's not to the extent of like it is once we put it in the reactor.
Right.
So it's not as bad as you think it is coming in now.
How close can you get? How close can you get to that? Like, is the driver in any kind of like? Does the driver have to wear like one of those things on their shirt or something?
No, because it's trucking right down the road. You drive right by it when it comes in.
Is it like in lead or something? Or
it's in special containers. Yeah, it's in special containers.
Okay.
We're gonna sound like complete idiots. Some of these questions.
Oh, it's fine. It's not a common industry, and most people don't know much about it, and it has a lot of misconceptions in the general public. So,
well, that's the thing why I was kind of excited to talk to you about it, because I think, especially with, I think we're entering an age where I think the more power we can't make enough power, basically, is where we're headed, especially with AI and things like that. And I think personally, nuclear is the answer. It makes the most sense to me. But everybody it has this stigma to it. Everybody's so scared of it. You know?
Yeah. Some reasons for that. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask Jayton, let me ask you this before you start. Have you ever had, in how many years have you been in the industry?
Well, 18, and then specific to nuke 6.
Okay. Have you ever had a day, well, in the past 6 years, have you ever had a day where you got home from work and you're like, whew, glad I made it through that one? Like, have you ever had days like where you were like, ooh, got a little hairy there, didn't know if we were going to make it out of this one or not? You know, like, does it ever get that scary up there?
Never in nuclear. In paper mills and other places, absolutely. Coal burning power plants, other places I've been in different industries, 100%. I can tell you a dozen places where I was trying to get back out the gate as quick as possible because I definitely thought my life was in danger. But I never feel like my life's in danger at the nuke, ever. I've never had a close call.
I guess it's so regulated that it's like, not that it can't something can't go wrong, but like it makes it very difficult, huh?
So yeah, and I could probably explain that a little bit relatively quickly and on how that came about. So obviously, the 3 big accidents we've had in history, and there's in those places. And
I was
then
just talking about that before we started. I was talking about 3 Mile Island because I saw they were lighting up their two of the reactors back up that didn't melt
they
down.
are, yep,
Yeah.
they're doing that, and it's all lessons learned, right? So that's when the NRC was formed, the Nuclear Regulatory Committee. So that's global. So basically, in a nutshell, what that means is now we all share industry, like operating experience. Okay. So
Whoa.
what happened at 3 Mile Island was completely preventable. It had happened at another plant, but they caught it and they took care of it correctly. That information wasn't shared. There was no NRC. The OE, as we call operating experience, didn't go out across the fleet. Had that been implemented, 3 Mile Island would have never happened. We would have known that, when that whole incident went down. Which, if you watch the documentary, it's pretty accurate on 3 Mile Island, what happened there with the safety valve and the reading of the gauge and everything like that. So it's accurate. It's on. I think it's on
that
Netflix.
Hits home for you. That hits home for you then, since it involves a valve.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. It was operators not trusting their instrumentation and kind of went their own path, and they went their own path.
I actually watch. I've got a weird thing. I enjoy sometimes watching channels that talk about like airline accidents. And I know that sounds kind of dark, but that is a recurring theme for a lot of accidents, is when they don't trust their instruments and they try and they get off script. That can't be what's happening. And then they do go off on their own path. And so many accidents are caused by not trusting your instruments. I mean, you're an instrument guy too, so that's perfect.
Right. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. They said, there's no way that can be right. And I think it was like a water pump that they shut off and basically dried up what desperately needed water at the time. I can't remember all the details off the top of my head, but that's the long and short of it on that one. But now that, like I said, with everybody sharing all their knowledge on a global scale of anything, and that's part of my job too. Like, I have something sitting on my desk right now that there's an incident that, not an incident, but like if a piece of equipment fails, it is dissected till the cows come home, right? So there was a valve and at Diablo Canyon that wasn't put together, or it failed after startup is what happened. So then things like that go out to everybody. So I have one of those sitting on my desk right now to review and see, do we have anything that resembles, or is this valve, can this happen here? And so that's happening everywhere at every plant all the time.
So that's part of your job, is reviewing stuff that's given to you from the Nuclear Commission, partially, right?
Yeah. You're eliminating or mitigating the possibility of anything like that happening. You rule it out, say, we don't have anything that looks like that, acts like that. It could never happen here, or it could happen here, and now we need to bring this to everybody's attention.
I picked up on something you said a minute ago where you called it the fleet, like the worldwide fleet. So y'all kind of talk about your power plant as if it's a ship, or is it each one of the individual reactors would be a ship in this analogy, like in the fleet?
When I say fleet, I'm referring to the Duke fleet, our fleet of power plants. But
okay.
Globally,
I was just wondering if that was like a Navy thing, like we were talking about a minute ago.
Yeah, maybe it's where it comes from, because the Navy and nuclear in general they love their acronyms, and it gets exhausting sometimes.
Yep. Do you think, because I live in New Hampshire, if you didn't know, and we are here in New Hampshire, we're trying to, at least right now, we're trying to ramp up our nuclear power. We do have one nuclear power plant in Seabrook, which is right on the coast. But we're trying to, at least, the legislators right now, they've passed a few bills recently, and the governor expanding research into nuclear, and there's been a lot of talk about like modular and micronuclear reactors. Do you think there's any future in those, or do you think we should build more like power plants like that you work at?
I think there's a space for them. So I think the best space for them in my mind is these coal burners that we have shut down that we're not currently using. I think that's the best space for them. So if we're not using that anymore, you tear down that coal burner. The infrastructure is already there to tie it into the grid. The land is already tied up to a gigantic. I mean, it takes up way more real estate to run a coal burner than it does an SMR. Small modular reactors is the term for them. And I think they serve a purpose. I think we're going to need everything. Like you said, we need everything right now. We are so far behind on power, like very, very bad behind. So we need go ahead.
I was just going to ask, the SMRs that you're talking about, do they have the same cooling requirements that standard plants do, where you pretty much have to have a waterway next to them to cool them off? Do they have that same requirement, I'm assuming? Or
yeah, there's still, you're still going to have dedicated cooling towers or a heat sink. Like, a lot of our plants here are built around big lakes and dams, and that's the heat sink for them. We have one plant used cooling tower. Sometimes you see like on The Simpsons, everyone sees those big concrete towers, and that they think nuclear, and that is the case on a lot of them. A lot of them are nuclear, but you see those concrete towers, it's just cooling towers. It doesn't mean necessarily it's a nuclear plant.
It usually is, though. We went camping in Arkansas. They have a state park there, and on the other side of the lake, boom, they got one of those cooling towers. And I got to say, it looks pretty cool. I think they're beautiful. I think they're gorgeous.
Cool. They're an impressive feat. That's a lot of concrete, and they're about 500 feet up in the air. I mean, that's an amazing engineering feat.
That's interesting, because Ryan is actually in the concrete industry. I don't know if y'all knew.
Oh, really?
Or not. Yeah,
I did not.
We've poured concrete at our nuclear plant before. So
oh wow,
yeah, yep, it's pretty wild.
But that'd be an interesting subject on your side. Then is what are we going to do when all this concrete around this country starts failing at the exact same time? Because we built it all so much at the same time. That's one thing in the back of my head.
Very true. There's a lot more oversight now with concrete, but that doesn't really change the old stuff. But as far as like the new, specs and inspectors and like mixed designs, there's heavily regulated now, especially with nuclear plants and stuff like that, of course. But and obviously we have better technology now with strengthening the concrete with different steel and rebar and different additives that we didn't have years ago. So I don't know, but that's a good question. The old stuff, I don't know.
I have another question, Jayton, about like I'm guessing like to work at that power plant, do you have to have like I'm sure you have to be very careful about how you answer questions and the things you say. Do you have to have like a secret or a top secret? I guess you probably can't even talk about that. You can't even talk probably about what kind of clearance you have to have. But I'm assuming that most of y'all probably have to have clearances and training on what to do with the knowledge you possess, because like that's a target big time, huh?
Is it like a TWIT card? Is that what it's
called? So those are for ports. I used to hold a TWIT card when I was traveling. That's for port security, and it's similar. I mean, they take that very serious as well, the port entries. But yeah, I mean, like contractors come in, like you could be a nuclear contractor, right? You're going to come in and do our outage. You have to go through a background check. You have to meet with a psychiatrist and answer a 300 panel question and make sure you're not crazy. And everybody's vetted pretty good, and that standard is, the there is a process. It's not like top secret or anything, but you will get a background check, and everyone thinks too, like if you have I'm not going to say a hard criminal past, but if you have a spot on your record, it's not the end of the world either. But the biggest thing is being upfront and honest. That's the
Right.
number one thing I tell anyone that tries to get in this industry. I'm like, I don't need to know everything about your past, but if they ask you, had better answer it truthfully, because they'll find out.
I guess that's why a lot of the people come from the Navy, is because they've gotten years of training. They're clearly like pretty sharp guys. They've been like, they're disciplined because they've been in the military, and they've already had all the clearances and stuff. You could, like, y'all aren't going to give a clearance like more stringent than the one the Navy gave them. So those guys are a shoe-in. It makes total sense,
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You see a Navy guy come across the desk, it pretty much is a shoe-in.
Yeah.
You said there was like a lot of misconceptions with nuclear, but you would say that they're probably not necessarily warranted, or they're not legit, or they shouldn't be legit. Or is there any like information you could tell us, maybe somebody that's like anti-nuclear, to kind of not convince them, but like maybe put their mind at ease when it comes to nuclear?
Well, my plant has an elementary school on our property. That's how safe and how serious we take nuclear.
Wow.
Right. So, and I live 11 minutes from our nuclear plant. I wouldn't, and I go and play in the lake that my plant uses as a heat sink with my family and kids.
Using the cooling water, huh?
Yeah. If I was worried about it, or if I knew any top secret information and it was really as bad as people try to make it out, my kids wouldn't be swimming in the lake. I wouldn't have a house 11 minutes down the road.
Right.
And so on and so forth. Like we are like in a very populated area.
Did they build that elementary school? I mean, I hope you tell me the answer I want to hear. Did they build the elementary school after the power plant was built?
Yes.
Brilliant. That is so smart.
Yes. Yes.
It's diabolical, really. Do they have the little atom symbol as their mascot or something?
Yeah. Now, there is training. Like, you live that close to a plant. I think some of the schools do some kind of training, because we test the alarms on a schedule. There's like the equivalent of the alarms that they use for like tornadoes. We have those throughout the
town. Meltdown, kids.
Exactly.
Like, what do you do for a meltdown, dude?
you swallow an iodine tablet and you head upwind.
That sounds like you're telling me I'm just screwed, man. I mean, come on.
Well,
here, take this, get upwind.
There wouldn't. The thing is like, even in all those worst case scenarios, that if something were to get out of hand, it would take so long to get to a point of putting anyone in danger. Yeah, it would. It's not like everyone. I guess that's probably one of the misconceptions. So like, everyone thinks melt down the mushroom cloud.
Chernobyl.
It's not the same. Yeah, Chernobyl was our absolute worst one by far. Now, there's a great documentary on that one too. I think it's on Netflix as well, and it is accurate and crazy what they did. I mean, they bypassed all their safety equipment to do a test. There was a company that was trying to run this test to see how a reactor would respond in a certain scenario. Well, to run that scenario, you had to bypass all these safety equipment. Right. So everybody they went to said no, and the Russians were like, "We'll do it," and that's what happened.
So
long and short, that's pretty rough version, but
would you say that what happened at Chernobyl would be almost impossible to happen here?
Yes.
Okay, I like that. That's a good answer.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
it's
like,
so safe. That's why I tell my family every time, when I go to work, I'm like, I'm at the safest place on the planet.
yeah.
you know, it.
Okay, and when you do the refuel, so you have fuel coming in,
Mhm.
and I guess at that same time, do you have waste going out that is like spent fuel leaving at that point?
Yeah, so that's a good question and a big misconception as well. So everybody talks about waste with nuclear, and
Right.
they say that's why we shouldn't do it. My plant's been running for over 40 years. All of our spent fuel is on a concrete pad behind the plant on maybe an acre of land, and
Wow.
those go into concrete cask, and that's where they spend it now to get there. So the process, long story short, the process is spent fuel comes out of the reactor, then it goes into a spent fuel pool and further decays till it can be removed. Then it goes into these concrete casks and is stored on site. So it doesn't go anywhere else. It's not buried in some mountain somewhere. It's right there on our company property.
So at what point are you guys producing emissions at all? Is there pollution at all coming from this plant?
So
Like,
like nuclear is zero carbon. Like
right.
there's
Right.
nothing coming out.
So okay, which I kind of knew, but so there, and then as far as the nuclear waste, you say that's squared away. So, and you say it's safe. So what's the catch? It's just
Well, so
expensive.
the fuel is probably the big now there is waste, right? So um like equipment that comes out, there's companies that specialize in handling that and getting it out of our site and
Mm-hmm.
going to a couple locations in the United States that house and deal with nuclear waste, and that part is expensive, right? So that's one of the things nuclear, that the waste disposal is expensive, and the
So,
cost to build them is expensive. Like the big reactors are expensive, and
but
that's
but it's
supposed to be
been.
the Luke. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. You just said it's been running 40 years though, so that cost can be spread out
Right.
over a long, long time.
Mm.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of these plants are getting licenses renewals at 40 years for another 20 years to and thankfully we are, because if they shut them down when they were supposed to be shut down, we'd be in dire straits right
Screwed.
now.
Yeah.
I actually looked up. I don't remember. I think Ryan and I talk about nuclear every now and then for some reason. We don't know anything about it, but we talk about it. And I looked, and man, there's like a long time frame where they didn't build any nuclear power plants, but before that, they were popping up left and right all over like back in, I guess, probably the 70s, 80s.
Oh yeah.
They're popping up left and right, and now they don't make them anymore. What's the deal?
Well, 3 Mile Island, the accidents is what
Right.
really squashed it. So um, there's a couple plants in our country that are halfway built and they stopped because of that. Um,
Wow.
so that's really what stopped it. Is the fear. Everybody, rightfully so. I mean, they didn't know what they were messing with, and they didn't. The public didn't want anything to do with it, because you wouldn't have sold property next to a nuclear power plant in,
No.
in the 80s. It
Oh,
wouldn't have happened.
yeah, they had 3 Mile Island. That was in the late 70s, right? Or was it?
Yeah.
And then
That,
not too long after that, you have Chernobyl. So I guess that explains it, right? Like
yeah.
Chernobyl was the nail in the coffin, I would think.
Yeah. That one, that's a bad one. That's the worst nuclear accident in history. Um, but with each one, like I said, it's learning. It's Fukushima. We learned a lot from that tsunami. I mean, you would have thought the engineers wouldn't have put the backup diesel generators below sea level, but they
Right.
did. Um, so they learned a lot of takeaways from that. And again, there was a global implementation from that accident. There's systems called Flex at all these nuclear sites now that were required after Fukushima because of everything they learned. I'll give you one example. One of the biggest hurdles they had at Fukushima was getting into the plant to help. They had no way to do it. So all plants now have a D9 bulldozer in storage somewhere off site. We have one parked across the street. If all hell broke loose and I couldn't get into my plant, that thing's coming out of storage and plowing a path in.
Wow.
So that's just one example of one piece of equipment that exists now because of Fukushima. And there's tons and tons and tons of pieces of equipment and things that had to be implemented at all these nukes because of Fukushima.
So you all have your own killdozer on site.
Yep, pretty much.
Who makes that? Is that
Cat?
That's Caterpillar makes that.
Yeah, it's just a big front end loader like you see in construction. Yep, there's one at every nuke now.
Okay, wow. So somebody wrote that down on a piece of paper, and Caterpillar made probably about $1 billion off of it.
Yeah, and a lot of safety measures because of all the OE that happened out there with their DC backup batteries and all the issues they had. There was a lot learned from that accident, and everything that failed there got passed down and implemented and mandated. Like, you're making these changes at these plants or you will not have your nuclear license anymore.
I think it's interesting, Jayton, that you actually put your day job in the name of your account. Why did you do that? Did you put thought into that, or is it just a name you came up with off the top of your head? Or,
well, I was trying to be somewhat relatable and kind of like show, like, you can work a very full-time job, because mine is full-time and then some,
right,
and still come home and do these things. And that was part of the reason to put both in there, is like, I didn't want to just, a lot of people still think it anyways, like this is my job or I'm a chef or whatever.
Yeah.
But I wanted, and a lot of people miss it, power plant to plate. I get so many questions. What do you do for a living? Like, I thought I was trying to figure that out in the name of the.
I'm a janitor at the power plant. What do you think?
Right. Yeah.
I sweep the floor at the power plant.
Right.
So Jake, whenever you get done with your power plant career, with your career with valves, do you ever want to open a restaurant one day, or do you want to cater? Ooh. Or have you ever? And I keep on, every time I ask you a question, I think of three more. Or have you ever been, okay, here's my question. Have you ever been paid to cook by somebody? Like, have you ever had somebody rich say, "Hey, I watched you on TikTok. I want to fly you in and I'll buy I'll set your griddle up and I'll get everything you tell me to get. I'll pay you $10,000. Come in and cook for us, Jayton." Have you ever had somebody like want you to cook for him before?
I haven't, but if somebody wants me to throw something on the griddle for $10,000, I'm on the next flight. I'll tell you that
much. You must have thought about opening a restaurant before, though.
Well, so that's like one of the number one failed businesses.
Yeah,
it
is so hard.
It is a very, very tough business, and the thing is today I can make more money on social media eventually than anybody that owns a restaurant for a lot less 100%. Headaches. My daughter's into baking. I tell her that all the time. I'm like, when the time's right and we feel like, she's 12, so we are not comfortable with her like doing anything right now.
Yep.
But when the time is right, and if this continues to go well, hopefully it can help her out down the road. I'm like, you don't need a bakery. You need an oven and a camera. That's it.
Right. Yep.
So to answer that, like, I always thought it would be fun, because I do like to share my food, and I love seeing people like happy eating it. Like, it does bring you fulfillment, right? So, but if I were to ever do it, it would be because I don't need the money. I'll never open a restaurant
Mm.
and my family's depending on that income. So
Right.
that would be the only way I would ever do it.
That sounds
That's
like
a
a smart answer.
strategy. Yeah.
We've all three seen too many restaurants open, and then
Oh.
6 months later they're boarded up, and then somebody else tries it, and then they board it up, and so on and so forth, over and over.
Yeah. It's I don't want to say, I guess cutthroat business, but it's not. It's just really tough. The margins are really small,
Yep.
and to cook how I cook is expensive. You know, I'm not.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna. I would never deter from that. I'm not gonna have bottles of honey mustard, and like everything would be made from scratch, and that's expensive to do.
So, okay, since you bring expense into it, man, I don't even want to ask. This is a rude thing to ask, but you know what? I'll say it this way. I would not want to see your grocery bill every month. How much you spend at the grocery store? It must be friggin' ridiculous. Also, I would not want to be your tax guy to determine if something like, okay, like I eat and yeah, I ate it. I cooked it and I
Was
ate it.
dinner a tax write-off tonight?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because like you have to ask yourself that, right? Like, is this a tax write-off? I mean, I ate it, but I could have just you know what? I would write off the amount over the cost of a ham sandwich, which would be just basic sustenance. Anything over and above basic sustenance, I would write off. That's what I would do.
Well, I'll tell you what. If anyone does watch this and they know anybody, we have talked about, like, do we need to find like an accountant who
Oh, you do.
specifically handles social media, because there are a ton of questions, like you're saying, like what all can we and can't we write off, you know, and
Right, because this
there's
is
a
the first
lot.
year you've done it, so you
Right.
haven't
Yeah.
really done the taxes yet.
Y'all might not eat. Y'all might not eat lobster on a Tuesday if you're not making a video, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. You haven't met my daughter. She's got pretty high standards. She thinks,
I bet.
filet and lobster tail is like peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, I know. I feel bad for her future boyfriend 5 years from now or whatever. He tries to bring her to a place to impress her. She's going to be like hard to impress, huh?
There's a lot of intent behind that too. I do that on purpose.
Smart dad. Smart dad.
Yep.
Yeah, you better not bring her to McDonald's or something. You can be like, what?
Yeah. She no problem, baby. I'll get you all the filet and crab legs you want. This is normal.
This is how normal people eat.
That's hilarious. Oh man, this has been fun, man. Thank you so much for doing this show. You're admittedly you're a little bit different of a guest this week,
Right.
from what we normally do, which is like by design. We're trying to expand out here and hear from all different people from all different spaces. So this has been good, man, and this has been fun. Thank you for doing it.
Yeah. No problem. And I got a question, because I did watch a few of your podcasts. I'm like, what? Why are they having me on? Because it seemed like I was watching all these storage guys and like repurpose or resell, and
you're like, what is this? We don't know what it is yet either, Jaden.
A little backstory.
Oh, go ahead.
A little backstory. I used to be in the reselling space. That's my original YouTube channel. I would go to garage sales. I would do the storage units thing. And then I moved over to the food space with I started doing food reviews and stuff. But I was always friends. Like, I've been friends with Lonnie here from the reseller space for, I don't know, 7-8 years now.
Right. Yeah.
And, we've obviously still close, even though I don't make that content as much anymore. And we started this podcast, which has been reselling related for the most part, but it's not like, it really hasn't brought any guests in from like my side of the content things. So I was following you. I was following you for a while, and I'm like, I was sending Lonnie your videos. I'm like, we should have this guy on. He would probably be really interesting to talk to, with the whole,
I mean,
so
everybody eats. Everybody
eats. So that's kind of
cool.
how that happened.
I've never done anything like this, so I was like, I was like, I'll give it a go. I need to get better at like talking in front of the camera and all that stuff. And this was like super laid back, like you said. And
Yep.
I did a Dano's live thing the other day, and that was a little more nerve wracking because like they were rapid firing questions at me on that thing. And
was it like a sponsored deal with Danos?
Yeah, so we have a partnership with them, and
Nice.
they asked us if we would come on, and they were going to do like these giveaways, and asked if we'd come on the live with them, and they hadn't done that before, and I was like, well, sure, that'd be fun. And then it was really cool because like halfway through the giveaways and whatever, Dan happened to walk through the room, and so he popped on. I got to meet him live on there, so that it was cool. It took me a minute to kind of get my bearings on there because it was quite different than just a couple guys shooting the shit, so to speak. So
what is Dano's? Do they make, is that pizzas or something? What is that? I don't even
seasoning.
Okay, I didn't know. We don't think we have that.
You've probably seen him before.
He's super big,
huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got one more question for the road here, man.
Yeah.
So I watched your number one TikTok so far has probably been hibachi one, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's got like 2.5 mil. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks.
There's one thing missing, and I was curious if maybe you know what it is, right?
I already know what it is.
Do you know how to do it or not? Like, are you going to do it?
Is it the volcano?
Yeah. Where's the volcano, man? Like, can you not do a volcano? Or like,
I did. So I did a follow-up hibachi video specifically for the volcano. So there is another hibachi video buried in there somewhere, and I did do the volcano. I did do the volcano.
Okay, and it came out good.
I must have got a 1,000 comments. Where's the volcano? Where's the volcano? I'm like, holy cow! All right, I'll do better next time.
Gotta take a shot of sake too.
Yeah, I kept asking you questions during this whole episode, and you're like, oh, I've heard this one before. I'm like, okay, clearly I'm not going to ask this guy a question he hasn't heard. So I already know he's heard the volcano one too. This is not your hibachi looked fantastic. I can't imagine that your family has been. When's the last time your family went to a restaurant?
Well, we do. So we do like to do that. So like my days off, we have a local brewery that I like to go to, and they make like phenomenal wings. They brine these things for 24 hours in their own beer that they make, and they smoke them, and they make their own, like, everything's fantastic. So that's like the place I like to go to not do anything.
And and I see what you're doing. You're gatekeeping this place because you want to make sure you can get a seat. I'm not saying the name of it on purpose.
No, it's so I've been kind of trained by the wife because for so long she was like, don't say this, don't say that. People are going to find out where we live. I'm like, they're going to find out anyways. So my brewery of choice is Royal Bliss is the name of it.
There we go. Okay, it's out there. We got a shout
out Royal Bliss.
Yeah, and we see your truck backing into your house every video, so we know, like, we can figure out where you live. And it's the house with the red, white, and blue lights on it and stuff.
Well, funny enough, like, we just ran into a neighbor 2 nights ago. She was walking, and she stopped and talked to us. And not like a neighbor I know very well at all, but they found us on social media, and so she was like, started asking all these food questions. So now, that's gotten out in the neighborhood as well, because she's like, me and my husband were watching, and she's like, I know that house. And then she showed her husband. He goes, I know that truck.
That's too funny.
So it's funny how it kind of gets out.
They're waiting. Yeah, the guy that can cook really well is really popular somehow, huh? Isn't that fun?
Yeah, they're waiting for
cookout?
Yeah, I was going to say they're waiting for the neighborhood cookout.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. Well, thank you for coming on, man. This has been a good time. It's been great.
Yeah.
And I will leave a link to you're basically just on TikTok, Facebook, and Insta, right? Are those? Oh, you said YouTube too, though, right?
You're on YouTube.
Yeah, we are on there, and like I said, I think we only have like 30 of our videos on YouTube right
Okay.
now. So something we were working on, but we are over there. But yeah, the Facebook is probably our one we're trying to grow actively right now. It's the one lingering behind. Instagram is doing better than TikTok now. It really took off on us.
Really?
So
Wow.
You
yeah.
mean as far as not as far as revenue though, huh? Or I guess the sponsors are where you make your money there, probably, huh?
Right. So that was the learning curve. There was like that's where all the ad revenue comes from is Instagram. All of our brand deals come from Instagram.
Oh,
Obviously you don't get any view revenue over there, but that's where that really started happening. And then we just kind of it was slow. Like I felt like the wife was like about to give up on Instagram, and then all of a sudden one day it just took off, and then it passed TikTok. So
wow.
yeah, it's
okay.
so
Okay.
yeah, that's the two big ones for us right now anyways is TikTok and Instagram, but hoping to get Facebook caught up as well.
Do
Oh, you
you
will. You'll get there.
do you on the brand deals, do you have like the same brands work like sponsoring you every month for them already, or are you still like trying new ones, and then or do you have any that have stuck around the whole time?
Um
Or I guess it's kind of new,
so
probably maybe too new
yeah,
to even say, huh?
we've done a couple and like where we'll do like paid ad for them. I would say the biggest one right now probably is Ninja, and that went really well. And then they reached out and wanted to do another one and another one. So Ninja's been going pretty good for us. And then Dano's right now, they wanted to do like a multi-month kind of continuance with us,
Wow.
which is great. So and I he was one of the originals. So like him and Stale Cracker, that's the first two people I can remember watching on YouTube way back when.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I literally watched both those dudes crawl out of from nothing
Oh wow.
to like I think Dano has like 5-something million, and I think Stale Cracker's at like 7 million. And it is super wild to think back however many years ago and watch those guys where they came from, and then to just be doing a deal with Dano right now, I was like, this is so cool because
Amazing.
who would have thought way back when I was watching him on YouTube, I'd be getting doing a deal with him with his seasoning. It's all just like crazy right now.
I
How
told
fast
Lonnie.
everything's happened.
I told Lonnie this the other day. I was like, this guy's a million follower account minimum. I think that's where you're headed for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope your crystal ball is right.
Well, you're just a talent. All you gotta do is just keep cooking, man. That's all your wife, I think it's pretty cool that she handles all that side. It leaves you free. It leaves you free to go make nuclear power and to come home and cook every day.
Oh yeah, she keeps me organized for sure because she's a spreadsheet girl, so everything is organized. Everything. I'd be lost. I forgot I was coming on here tonight. So yeah, I definitely need that. So she graded all that, keeps us organized, and keeps all the brand deals and our obligations going.
Wow.
So
awesome.
That sounds like
invaluable.
I can't imagine. Like y'all are quite the team then. That is really something. Not too many people have that good of a team formed where they can just focus on their craft. And then the person is doing it all, they trust 100%. Obviously, it's your wife,
right.
So it's like man, that just sounds perfect to me. That sounds so cool.
My big thing I try to tell everyone too is like I don't know what I'm doing, and I just started doing this 6 months ago. So if you're even remotely thinking about trying to do social media or trying to do podcast or whatever you're wanting to do on whatever platform, just start. Because if I can figure it out, literally anybody can.
Well,
so
yeah, but you're really, really, really especially good cook too, though.
Well, so I will say that. So it don't force it. It's got to be something you're passionate about, like you guys, right? Like you're the storage and the reselling, whatever you're passionate about food now, that like you
Yep.
can't fake that. It's got to be something that you enjoy doing, and you'll find the audience, right? Like, I don't know anything about your world with the storage and everything, but I know there's a lot of TV shows out there about that kind of stuff. So there has to be quite an audience for it.
Mhm.
And same thing with the food world and whatever you choose to do. And the monetization is the big thing I try to tell people. There's nothing else you could do that can make money faster than social media. There's no rental property, etc. There's no investment. Just start.
Mhm.
It doesn't cost you anything. And what's the worst that could happen?
Right. It's true.
So
make a bad video, and then you go eat your dinner anyways because you video was about making dinner.
didn't get any views, but we're full.
Oh man, really enjoyed it. Thanks a bunch, Jade.
Yeah,
thanks,
it's great
man.
talking to you guys. Appreciate it.
Power Plant to Plate. Go give them a follow. I'll link them down below.
Appreciate it.
See ya.
See ya.